What's up, guys? Ryan from the Grappling Central podcast. I'm making one of my last stops while I'm here in New York City. I'm very excited about this one. This is Sambo Steve's Academy. Sambo Steve's been on the show a couple times. Great guy. Also joining us today is going to be Mike Palladino and Vlad Koulikov, who've also been on the show. And we're here at New York Combat Sambo in Manhattan, so not too far from Times Square. So we're going to go inside. I'm going to give you a tour, and we're going to get some training in today. So come on along. Guys, we are here at New York Combat Sambo Club with two-time guest of the podcast, Sambo Steve Koepfer.
What's up, man?
Steve, it's great to see you in person.
Finally,
What's up? Tell us how long you've been here. Tell us about the academy. How many years have you been here? Tell us a little about the school, if you don't mind.
Actually, the 21st, tomorrow, will be our 15th anniversary. So this is a pretty cool 15th anniversary celebration.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we've been here 15 years and hopefully another 15 at least.
That's excellent. Congratulations. This is your original location.
No, we've been here about 9.
Okay.
And in different places before that. Actually, before Shaolin was in Shaolin's place, that was a Taekwondo place, and I used to rent from them. So I was actually in that space before Shaolin was there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know that you do both combat sambo, judo. You guys have a grappling program, other variations of grappling as well, and you do breakfall studios in here too. The stunt
guys train here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you guys have a lot of students from around the country coming to visit, or a lot of people dropping in?
There's always people like you dropping in. You know, I mean, we're not like a huge academy. You can tell we're pretty small, but almost every month, every week, we've got somebody coming to check us out.
Forward a little bit. That's one. guys. Just got smoked by Malik Palladino. Thank you.
No, he didn't.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Don't listen to him. He's humble. How'd you like today? Thank you for being here.
Man, it's so awesome to come down here. I'm glad you finally came to New York.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were talking about it a bit, you know, and so hopefully I present an opportunity. So
absolutely, the darts. You know, the detail that you were showing on the darts today, with getting the fingers all the way in. That's the number one thing that I think stops my darts chokes from working so successfully, so unsuccessfully. I'm very unsuccessful with a lot of my darts chokes, is what I'm trying to say. And I think a lot of it has to do with not getting my knuckles deep enough into the grip. And then Vlad was going over a really cool concept about thinking of the guy's back as sea level. And if you're not sinking your shoulder past that, and that's something that sometimes in a scramble or in the heat of the moment, I forget. I just try to feed my arm through, and then I don't have a lot of success.
I think that, you know, obviously gripping, being at the right angle to create the strangle, and also, like, I always, up until black belt, I was like, you know, like, I generally understood what the darts choke was, you know, like, I would show it in class, but I didn't know the subtleties, and when I saw, like my rate go up of finishing darts is because there's so many different variations, you know? I didn't realize you finish darts from the bottom, you can roll over if you're having trouble. You know, there's so many variations of the darts choke, and once I was able to change like my approach in attacking it from different positions and different variations sitting back, I started to see it skyrocket, you know? I started to see the entrances go up as well. So that's the key to the darts choke, is having multiple entrances and multiple positions to hit it from.
Yeah, another really interesting thing about the variation that you showed today is it's so counterintuitive when you're on top turtle to want to flip yourself upside down, and it almost feels like you're giving up position.
Yep.
But in reality, you're putting the guy in a really tight choke from there. So is that something you feel people are a little hesitant about at first?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, you know, like, you don't want to give up position to go for a submission because you could wind up in a bad spot.
Sure.
But I feel like I feel like it's so tricky, and once you have it down, you know, you can lock a guy up, and when I do feel that like I'm going to lose it, you're in front headlock control, you know, so I know that I'm able to kind of salvage it and come back up on top if I have to, or go neutral, you know. So the variation I showed tonight was from the bottom. It's called the Mars choke, like named after Mark Lehman, and then we used a sleeve with it, so it became a Slarse choke. You know?
Slarse choke.
There's so many names. You gotta get the nomenclature right. You know?
That's great. Well, you know, that's another cool thing too, is I think a lot of people probably in their heads consider a darts a very no-gi oriented technique.
Yes.
But man, these sleeves really
change
help
everything
up.
Yeah, a lot more
really
friction
does.
too. You know.
Yeah.
You're sticking with it. You know.
Yeah. Well, man, I thank you so much for showing
thank
us.
you.
Great
Of course,
stuff. Thank you for the
man.
role.
Absolutely.
That was incredible. Switch over to Captain Sambo Steve here. How are you,
Hey,
sir?
what's up, man?
Okay. This has been one of the most fun training sessions I've had. This is a highlight of not only running the podcast, but my grappling journey in general to be here.
Thank you.
It's an honor to get to roll with you and to attend your class. Let's talk about the drop seoinage that you showed today. What do you think makes the drop seoinage such an effective technique?
If you do it right, which if you go back to the fundamentals of all grappling is controlling your opponent's hips, right? So when it's done well, you're controlling his hips by cutting out from underneath them. So usually what happens when people fail it, they'll drop too far away. They're not hitting the guy's hips.
30 seconds.
Right? Or they'll under rotate, only hitting like maybe half
put your
of the guy's
left elbow
hips.
in front of the. There you go. Put
So-
the foot. There you go.
Just like standing grappling,
Lock
it's all
your
about
feet
controlling
together.
the hips and the grips. Hips
Keep
and
going.
grips,
Keep going.
right? So it's
Rotate
like-
that wrist. Rotate that wrist.
that same grip that Mike was talking about, the rotation, is the same way I was
Come on
showing
top.
the Marote,
Nice.
the forearm
Wow.
under. And the same thing with Vlad and I both talked about the same thing, about loading the guy on his foot,
Yeah.
making him resist that load.
Yeah.
When he tries to come back up, boom.
Yes.
So what I like about the drop seoinage is that you catch the guy. It's easier to catch the guy in transitional moments than some other throws, for me.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Well, it makes perfect sense, and I really like today that you emphasize like on the snap down, pulling the guy, not just snapping him straight down to the ground, but pulling him forward, getting him walking forward to make him even more awkward and off balance.
Make him take steps.
Yeah, and when I was sparring with you, man, I could feel that 100%, and I found myself not being able quite to mimic the same thing. In fact, there was a clip. I'm sure people are gonna laugh at it when they watch our roll. I tried to do the drop seoinage, and I didn't pull you forward at all. I tried to just dive to it, and I was way far away. I wasn't even close to penetrating. Of course, look who I'm trying to do this to.
But that's a common error that I make too on more advanced guys, you know. Or even not, if it's a very finesse, all throws are finesse.
Sure.
Just like sweeps, it's finesse. So if you don't get that guy moving, it's hard to to do it when he's standing still. Everything's
Absolutely.
harder when somebody's still.
So the setups are something that obviously we did a lot of fit-ins today. We did a lot of the drilling of the snap down before you even had us doing the entry. So that's obviously a huge part of it.
That's a big part of what we do is like working on the fit-ins, but also not just entries, but in a way that you help the student develop timing.
Yeah.
Like, so if, you know, like we were doing, what we'll do sometimes is one guy goes down, the other guy just goes up like a seesaw. We didn't do that tonight.
Yeah.
We just did one unidirectional, but a lot of times we do both guys going. One guy enters, as he's standing up, the other guy enters. As he's standing up, the other guy enters. Back and forth, not waiting for them to stand all the way up.
Absolutely.
And that's super important.
Incredible. Well, this was, like I said, just an amazing experience. I thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
Awesome. This is awesome. Thank you so
Awesome.
much. Now, what's the policy of people? If people want to come to New York and they want to get a little time with
We don't charge out of towners any money.
No kidding.
Yeah, you
Wow.
just come and train.
That's amazing. So if you guys are in New York and you're not dropping by New York Combat Sambo Academy, you're missing out big time. We talk on the podcast a lot about the unity between all styles of grappling. So if you're dropping into other jiu-jitsu schools and you want to get some extra flavor on the side, learn some great takedowns, this is the place to be. It's a very welcoming academy. A lot of tough, solid guys in the room, and one of the best instructors in New York City and the country. Yeah, of course.
We're like the neutral zone, dude. It's like a lot of jiu-jitsu guys who won't train together at the jiu-jitsu schools will
Yeah,
end
they
up
sneak over
they
here,
end
huh?
up coming in here and train together. So
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate the
Cool.
tour. And
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you so much, guys.
All right.
Stay tuned. If you haven't heard Sambo Steve's episodes, he's been on twice, 2 of our very popular episodes. So go back in the catalog and listen to those, and stay tuned for more, guys.